So you've just Googled what is the best homeschool curriculum, read 14 contradicting Facebook comments, clicked a Pinterest link that led to a dead end, and now you're sitting on the floor surrounded by open catalogs and snack wrappers thinking, why is this so hard? I just want to homeschool my kid. Can someone just tell me what curriculum I should buy? Which ones are good? Friend, I see you and I was you. Let's just stop for a minute and take a collective breath because I need to tell you something. We've been lied to. And today, my friend, we're going to get to the bottom of curriculum decisions. But before we dive into that, let me quickly introduce myself for those of you who are new here. Hi, I'm Christy-Faith, author of Homeschool Rising, keynote speaker, and founder of Thrive Homeschool Community. Thrive is a space where we mentor and guide homeschool moms to create an amazing homeschool program that both you and your kids love. It's also a place for real connection, solid training, and support from parents who truly get it. All right, now let's unpack this lie. We have been all led to believe that if we could just find the right curriculum, the magical unicorn of homeschooling resources, everything will click, our children will beg for more school, and we become that mom who does read-alouds while the sourdough rises and the toddler silently builds a STEM project quietly in the corner. Spoiler alert. That's not real. That mom isn't real. That unicorn curriculum isn't real. Also, of course, you're asking this question. It's one of the most common questions new homeschool moms ask. And I want to take it easy on you as I say this and promise that you'll stick with me through this episode. When we are asking what curriculum is good and what curriculum should I buy, it's actually the wrong question. And the fact that you're asking it, it is not your fault. There's a very good reason why we all think that there is just some special curriculum that we should all be using out there. We were all probably raised in some sort of system ourselves, and we were told, here's the program, follow it. So now, as a homeschooler, your brain is screaming, can somebody just tell me what to buy so I don't ruin my child's future? Now, you got to trust me with this episode because I want to take a minute and unpack what's really behind the question, what curriculum is good? Because it's not what you think. Because when a mom asks, what curriculum should I buy? What she really means is, will this work? Will my kid fight me on it? Will I waste $300 and lose my last sliver of sanity? Will this help me feel like I'm not totally messing up this homeschool thing? To which I say, fair. Those are absolutely reasonable concerns. And the truth is, yes, there is boring curriculum. Yes, there are glitter-covered, overpriced bundles. And yes, there are options that will make homeschool mom life harder. But before you buy anything, the most important thing is to do a smidge, please, of deschooling. In fact, and I know this might sound annoying because you really probably just clicked on this episode wanting to be told what curriculum is good and which one you should buy. But when I go to conferences and I teach my Homeschool 101 class, I have moms do several steps before even considering making their first purchase. And deschooling is one of those steps. So we're going to go over it for just a minute here. And I'm only kind of joking when I say it's kind of a matter of homeschool survival. I know deschooling might sound like one of those trendy homeschooling buzzwords that feel a little fuzzy or maybe even a bit intimidating. It's also close to the word unschooling, which is a totally different thing. That's one of the homeschool pedagogies or one of the 9 homeschooling styles. But here's the truth. Deschooling isn't just a concept. It can be a homeschooling savior. And as I say in my Homeschool 101 classes, I want to train you to homeschool in a way so that you don't burn out and quit later. And this is one of the keys to doing that. So what is deschooling? It's the process of stepping away from the idea that school has to look a certain way. Desks, bells, worksheets, rigid schedules, textbooks, grades, and instead figuring out what actually works for your kid and your family, and might I add, your dreams. It's such an important step that I dedicated an entire chapter to deschooling in my book, Homeschool Rising, because honestly, if you skip this part, curriculum might feel weird, wrong, or just way too extra. And why? Because when we skip deschooling, we don't actually start homeschooling. What ends up happening is we just recreate the same school mindset at home, with ourselves cast as the frazzled teacher and our kids as the disinterested, slightly mutinous students. And we start measuring our success by how many boxes we checked, how still the child sat, what grades they're getting, did we finish the curriculum on time, whether we made it to the end of lesson 14 by Friday without anyone crying, including us. Here's the truth bomb. You can't build something new if you're still clinging to what broke you. So, what is it? Deschooling is unlearning the habits, the expectations, and the emotional baggage we all picked up from the traditional school systems, even if you've never set foot in a classroom as a parent. It's about pausing long enough to ask, what do I believe about learning? Why am I panicking if we don't start by 8:30 a.m.? Why do I feel like we're failing if I don't have a 3-ring binder color-coded by subject? Deschooling helps you stop asking, how do I make school at home? And start asking, what kind of life do we want? And how does learning naturally fit into that? Honestly, most people are shocked to realize their biggest stressor in homeschooling isn't the curriculum at all. It's their leftover beliefs about what learning has to look like. And if you're thinking, okay, Christy, yeah, but where do I start? I gotcha. We'll get into that after the break. First, this word from our sponsors.
As a homeschool mom who values a family together approach and leans towards the classical and Charlotte Mason styles, I often struggle to bring my educational vision to life with my kids' diverse ages and learning needs. With all our interests and super packed schedule, bridging that gap between the dreamy homeschool I want and reality, I gotta be honest, it's a challenge. Now, yes, I know perfection isn't the goal, but if you're listening and you could use a little easing of your mental load in your day-to-day, I found a resource that has become the quiet hero of our routine, and it could be a really great option for you too. BJU Press Homeschool Curriculum. Now, many think that BJU Press Homeschool is solely an all-in-one option, and though it does excel in that role, did you know you can also opt for specific courses and tailor them to fit your family's needs, just as I have? BJU Press Homeschool provides the perfect balance of structure and flexibility and easily complements my family's mixed age, family together on the couch learning style. They are second to none in integrating a biblical worldview, stimulating critical thinking, and offering tons of hands-on activities in the lessons. To find out how BJU Press Homeschool can come alongside you in your homeschooling goals too, visit bjupresshomeschool.com or click the link in the show notes.
I've got some news. There's a new reading curriculum that ditches workbooks and drills for fun and games. If you're thinking fun and games sounds a little too good to be true, it's not. 98% of children improved their reading test scores in just 6 weeks with the Reading Skill Set by Love Every. It's a phonics-based program that follows the science of reading, but makes learning to read fun, motivating, and confidence-boosting because it happens by playing games and then practicing with just right skill-level books. Kids love it and parent educators love it. And it works. Visit loveevery.com/Christy-Faith today and use code Christy10 to get 10% off your purchase of the Reading Skill Set by Love Every. That's lovevery.com/Christy-Faith.
Welcome back. I pulled the deschooling framework straight out of my book, Homeschool Rising, and turned it into a totally free resource that is available for you. It's called 20 Questions to Kickstart Your Deschooling Adventure, aka your gentle invitation to start unraveling the schooly knots in your brain. These 20 questions are simple but powerful, like, oh wow, I never realized I thought like that. Kind of powerful. And no, this isn't just for newbies. Even if you've been homeschooling for a while, if things feel a little bit heavy or off, or you're feeling a little burnt out, this could just be the reset button you didn't know you needed. You can download it right now at christyfaith.com or click the link in the show notes. It's completely free, it's low pressure, and it might just save you from impulse buying $200 worth of curriculum that will sit on that shelf mocking you later. Here's the bottom line. Deschooling is the thing you skip when you just want to get started and then circle back to in tears 6 months later. So please be smarter than the past Christy and start there. And bonus, You may not know this, but inside Thrive Homeschool Community, my online community, we actually walk you through this deschooling phase with support, practical steps, and yes, office hours, where we answer all the questions you're too scared to post in a Facebook group because you don't want 42 contradicting responses and one passive aggressive GIF. So yeah, deschooling is kind of a big deal. It's not woohoo stuff, it's real wisdom. Now, once you've begun that little identity shift, then we can talk curriculum. But if you skip this part, friend, everything else is gonna feel off no matter how many stickers or manipulatives it comes with, because you won't really understand the why behind even all the homeschool activities that you're doing. Now, when I said earlier, when you're asking what curriculum is good, and I said that's actually the wrong question, I was saying that not because I think you're uninformed or you're dumb or anything like that, not because you failed some secret homeschool parent quiz. It's because you and me and all of us, we've been set up. The system has us believing that there's some sort of best out there. Like there's going to be an envelope reveal with dramatic music and a winner. And the truth is, there is no one right answer. There's only what fits you and what fits your kid. And surprise, that might not be the glossy, influencer-approved program with the $500 price tag and matching flashcards in 4 languages. So let's reframe the curriculum. Not what curriculum is good, but what curriculum is good for us. Totally different question, right? Way fewer tears, way more snap breaks and giggles. Because here's the truth no one wants to say out loud in the Facebook groups. Curriculum doesn't teach your child. You do. That fancy, expensive set you ordered isn't going to climb out and lovingly correct your kid's math mistakes or turn your child's meltdown into a teachable moment. Curriculum is just a tool. It's a vehicle, and tools are only helpful if they get the job done that you want done, if they fit your hand and the job you're doing. And what that means is that your kid isn't just a blank slate. You're not a robot who just inputs instructions and outputs perfectly educated humans. That's not the point. That's not why we're doing this. And no, your child's resistance to cursive and writing an essay is not a character flaw. What those things are clues. When you start paying attention to how your kid learns best, how you teach best, and how you both can actually enjoy spending your day, the right curriculum starts to look a lot different, doesn't it? This is exactly what we do in step 2 of my fail-safe homeschool setup, which is in Thrive Homeschool Community. There's a quick video module where I walk you through it like a real human, not a robot teacher voice, plus a printable worksheet so you can figure out what kind of curriculum actually fits you personally, your kids' wiring, and your daily chaos level. And look, Thrive might not be for you, but seriously, if you're feeling stuck on this question, go watch that module, fill out that worksheet. It's not magical by any means, but it is a massive clarity boost. You can totally Google your way to the same answers eventually, or you can just open up my module because I've done all the obsessing and thinking for you ahead of time. You can also DM us inside Thrive when you get stuck and get all the help that you need. My whole point here is let's start asking the better question, because the secret sauce to homeschooling is you. The curriculum is just the seasoning. And step 3 is simple. Know thyself and thy offspring. This is where the magic happens, not the Target aisle magic or the Pinterest mom magic, but the kind of practical magic that keeps you from rage quitting mid-February because you bought a curriculum that looks great on Instagram, but makes your family miserable. So here's what we do. We stop looking at the curriculum catalog like it's the menu at Cheesecake Factory, which is completely overwhelming, right? And we start watching our kids. Is your child the kind of kid who builds intricate Lego worlds with functioning governments and trade systems, but bursts into tears at the sight of a workbook? Do they love listening to stories for hours but go full limp noodle when faced with a timed worksheet? Do they thrive on structure and clear expectations or wilt the moment you say the word schedule like it's a threat? These aren't just personality quirks. They are curriculum clues. Ignore them at your own peril. And you, my dear homeschool parent, are not off the hook either. I care about you and I want you to love this this life as well. So this is what I need you to know too. Ask yourself what kind of life you want and what you care about. Are you secretly allergic to glitter and Pinterest crafts? Do you need a script to function, or does a scripted lesson make you feel like a hostage? Will you actually print 10 laminated activities per day? Now, we all agree here. No, you won't. Don't lie. Because let's be honest, the best curriculum in the world isn't going to work if it turns you into a resentful, exhausted, glue stick wielding rage monster. This is exactly why I built out the fail-safe homeschool setup and put module 1 in the beginning. It's the student interview and parent reflection packet. You can think of your own interview questions to ask your kid, or you can use my resources and do it in a more guided way with experts. Totally your call. For those going through the fail-safe setup, I often encourage moms to grab a snack. It takes about an hour per kid, and then an extra hour for you to reflect in blessed silence with a pen and maybe a tea latte. But however you do it, it's important to interview your kids, reflect on what you want, because you'll walk away with insight into how your child ticks, what lights them up, and what makes you a more confident teacher, not a martyr on the altar of someone else's curriculum plan. Because if you don't know what you really want and the best ways to serve your kids, you will start panic buying whatever's on sale or whatever looks the best online. And the truth is, no matter how many Amazon reviews it has or how many influencers swear by it, if it doesn't work for your kid and your sanity, it's not the right fit. So reflecting, trust me, the path to a peaceful, functional homeschool starts there. Know thyself, know thy offspring, then you can buy the thing. Now it's time to move into the next step, which is a big one. Where do we even start? We'll get into those practical details right after the break.
Before we continue, I want to share with you a program that's been a game changer for our homeschool. At our center, we instructed and helped kids through pretty much every math program on the market and know firsthand just how important a solid math foundation is for our kids' futures. As a career educator with high standards, finding the right program that checked all the boxes felt like too tall of an order until one day I tried CTC Math. CTC Math is an online math curriculum for K-12 students with motivating, interactive lessons that allow kids to learn at their own pace. It does all the teaching and grading so you don't have to, and their adaptive lessons adjust so your child is progressing confidently. With CTC Math, your child is getting a top-notch education and you just made your homeschool life easier. Visit ctcmath.com to start your free trial today, or click the link in the show notes. Is your child struggling with attention, memory, reading, writing, or math? If you're experiencing this, you know how heart-wrenching it is to watch them face these hurdles. You've poured love, time, and attention into their education, yet the struggle persists, leaving you feeling stuck and desperately searching for answers. You guys, I want you to know about Learning RX, a proven program designed to help your child's cognitive skills, enabling them to think faster, learn more easily, and perform at their best. I'm talking getting real long-term help here with things like ADHD and dyslexia. Learning RX is backed by 35 years of research, and their results are transformative. Use code HOME50 for $50 off your cognitive skills assessment. Go to learningrx.com or click the link in the show notes.
Okay, so you followed the steps I've gone over so far. You've deschooled, or at least you're on that journey. You've stared deeply into your child's soul and your own, and you've realized that asking what curriculum is good is kind of like asking what shoes are best, right? Well, you'll realize, actually, it depends. Are we going hiking or are we going to the Oscars? So now you're asking, where in the world do I actually start? Here's the honest, slightly annoying answer. You could spend hours online. You could fall into a YouTube hole about Charlotte Mason and classical education and whether math needs to be living. You could download 19 curriculum samples, stock every homeschool blogger's bookshelf, and wind up crying over a phonics scope and sequence like it's ancient Greek prophecy. Or you can do it a little bit more strategically. I can tell you how we do it in Thrive. We literally walk you through the process step by step, like your favorite GPS system, but with less recalculating and more "you've got this." What we do in there is we start out with figuring out your homeschooling style. And no, you don't have to be crunchy or classical or any type of pedagogy to be in Thrive. Then once we figure out your homeschooling style, which by the way, there is a free 5-minute homeschool style finder on my website. You can do this for free right now. After I have you figure out your homeschooling style, then I move to you understanding your kids' learning preferences. After you've explored your kids' giftings and what they need, and you've dreamt a little bit about what you want for your own homeschool, you've figured out what homeschooling style or pedagogy you are, then you're ready to start thinking about what to buy. In Thrive, we offer you lots of worksheets and blueprints to organize your curriculum buying, and also you can DM the mentors and come to office hours to bounce ideas off or get our opinions from us or other Thrive members. Here's my point. I don't want you to do it alone. I want you to find people who are ahead of you in this game, who aren't judgy, and who can help you out with some practical wisdom. Because at the end of the day, here's what's real. Curriculum isn't the magic ingredient. You are. Do you see it now? So let's land this plane. There is no magic curriculum. In fact, a lot of it does the job pretty well. It's really a matter of finding the right fit for you. Every curriculum will require some tweaking. Every single one will feel awkward at some point. You might even need to switch mid-year. Yes, I know, gasp. It's okay. It doesn't mean that you failed. It means you're paying attention. You're growing. You're adapting. You're being the grown-up in the room. Because here's the truth. You can give your kid a solid education with a boring workbook, and you can give them a garbage education with the trendiest, most expensive curriculum in the universe. Because it's not really about the curriculum. It's about connection. It's about knowing your family, knowing your values, knowing your rhythm, and trusting that you will figure out the rest because you want what's best for your kid. So here is your permission to stop unicorn hunting. De-school, investigate, pick something decent, tweak as needed, and just get after it. And give yourself and your kids so much grace that it feels borderline irresponsible. And of course, if you want real help with all of these details, you know what I'm about to say. You can get that in Thrive Homeschool Community. Of course, I will put the links in the show notes. Okay, that is it for today. So go forth, reject the curriculum panic, and embrace the glorious, snack-filled, beautifully chaotic mess that is real homeschooling. And seriously, if that laminator is giving you anxiety, put it down. It's not the boss of you. All right, see you next time.
My heart